Welcome to Real Talk for Real Life, where we're realizing everyone is always learning and living your full experience. I'm your host, Coach C, and this is your Winning Wednesday episode. Be picky with people. I said what I said. We need to be picky with people. Yeah, the same way we're picky with our appetite, picky about our appearance, picky about acceptance, we need to start being a whole lot more picky with people. Because here's the thing, the people we surround ourselves with, whether we acknowledge it or accept it as fact or not, have the ability to affect our aptitude. They become our circle of influence. I know. I hear somebody already. Not me, Coach C. I'm my own person. Don't nobody change my movement. I make my own decisions. Honey, they do. And if human beings weren't influenced by other human beings, explain to me why being a social media influencer is now an entire career choice. I'll wait. Companies literally pay people because they understand one simple fact. People influence people. What somebody wears, what somebody buys, where somebody eats, how somebody thinks, what somebody believes is possible, what somebody starts accepting as normal. You are either being influenced or you're doing some influencing. And most of the time, you're doing both. That's what I'm saying on this Winning Wednesday. If you want to start winning, if you want to continue winning, and especially if you're trying to win at the next level, you've got to become more picky with people. And listen, being picky with people doesn't mean you suddenly think you're better than everybody. It doesn't mean everybody who isn't where you're going gets cut off. And it definitely doesn't mean you need to start walking around inspecting people's lives with a clipboard. Nah, I'm talking about access. Who gets access to your dreams? Who gets access to your decisions? Who gets access to your vulnerable moments? Who gets access to your ideas before they've had time to develop? Who gets a seat at the table when you're deciding what comes next? Because everybody you love does not automatically qualify for influence level access. Phew. Some of y'all got day one sitting in seats they outgrew a long time ago simply because that's my day one. Okay, but what has your day one been doing since day 365? Because some of your day ones ain't did you no solid. I said it. Some of them have watched you stay stuck and kept hyping up your foolishness. You tell them you're about to make the same terrible decision for the fifth time, and they're like, yes, do you? No, don't let me do me. Apparently, me needs somebody to tell me I'm tripping. I need people around me who love me enough to say, Coach, that ain't it. I need people who can celebrate me and correct me, encourage me and challenge me, clap when I'm winning and tell me when I'm getting in my own way, because that's what healthy influence looks like. See, everybody cheering isn't necessarily championing you. Some people will hype up the version of you that requires nothing from them. And here's the part that might sting a little bit. Some people don't mind you being great. They just don't want you being better than them. I said it. Now chew on it because it's the truth. As long as you're both complaining, everything is cool. As long as you're both struggling, everything is cool. As long as you're both talking about what you're going to do, everything is cool. But then you actually do it. You start healing. You start growing. You start becoming disciplined. You start making different decisions. You stop entertaining the same foolishness. You start expecting more from yourself. And suddenly the energy gets a little weird. Why? Because your growth can become a mirror. And everybody doesn't like what they see when somebody close to them starts changing. But hear me clearly. You don't have to shrink so somebody else can remain comfortable standing beside you. And you don't have to hate them either. You don't have to make a dramatic announcement. You don't need a social media post talking about, I'm cutting everybody off. Child, no. Sometimes being picky with people simply means changing proximity. I can love you without letting you lead me. I can care about you without consulting you. I can know you without giving you access to everything I'm becoming. And I can appreciate where we've been without requiring you to go everywhere I'm going. That's maturity. Because when you're serious about winning, you have to start asking, does my circle complement my calling or compete with it? Do these people challenge my thinking? Do they celebrate my growth? Can they correct me without trying to control me? Can they watch me elevate without making my elevation about them? And here's another one. Who am I becoming when I'm around them? Because maybe the biggest question isn't whether they're good people. Maybe they're wonderful people. The question is, are they good for the direction you're going? There is a difference. Winning at the next level may require a different level of discernment about who gets close enough to influence you. So, yes, be picky. Be picky about who gets your time. Be picky about who gets your energy. Be picky about who gets your ear. Be picky about who gets access to your vision. Be picky about whose advice becomes your action because your circle of influence can become either a ceiling or a catalyst. And I'm trying to win. So, yeah, I'm picky with people. Here's your fearless homework, the influence audit. This week, I want you to identify the 5 people who have the greatest influence on your life right now. Not necessarily your 5 favorite people, not the 5 people you've known the longest, the 5 people whose words, opinions, behaviors, or presence actually influence you. Write their names down. Then, beside each name, answer these 3 questions. One, who do I become around this person? Do I become more focused, faithful, disciplined, courageous, and accountable? Or more distracted, doubtful, complacent, and comfortable? Two, can this person challenge and celebrate me? Can they tell me when I'm wrong without tearing me down? And can they watch me win without becoming weird about it? Three, what level of access should this person have? Maybe they belong in your inner circle. Maybe they're a great friend, but not a trusted advisor. Maybe you love them deeply, but they don't need a vote in your next move. And maybe you realize somebody has been occupying a seat their influence no longer qualifies them to hold. You don't have to create conflict, just create clarity. Because being picky with people isn't about thinking you're better than people. It's about understanding that when you're serious about where you're going, you have to become serious about what's influencing you along the way. This is Coach C, and this has been another Winning Wednesday edition of Real Talk for Real Life. Your people matter, your proximity matters, your influence matters. So choose wisely, choose fearlessly. And as always, live fearless, keep learning, keep living. This is Real Talk, where we're realizing everyone is always learning and living your full experience. Make sure you're following me on Instagram and Facebook at Real Talk for Real Life. That's L.Y.F.E for more inspiration, merchandise, and motivation between episodes. This is Coach C. I'll see you in the next one.